Assalamu alaikum dear student. Today I'm going to discuss species interaction. So, a species population growing in a community cannot remain unaffected by the other co-occurring species population. And its example is plant depend on nectarivorous insect for pollination. In this category, we often hear about the honeybee and the butterflies and other insects who do the pollination upon a seed-eating bird by the dispersal. This is a bird who used to eat the fruits, and maybe while eating the fruit it may disperse the seed or mycorrhizal fungi associated with their to absorb nutrient from the soil. These are the mycorrhizal fungi that are present in the root nodules of the higher plant for the absorption of nutrient. There is some point to remember. The morphological and the chemical diversity in the plant has a broad base which provide them with defense against their natural enemies. For counter defense means the defense which the animal used to give when they used to defend themselves, the counter attack, Herbivore and the parasite has also developed morphological, physiological and behavioral adaptation as a result of co-evolutionary process occurring during over a long period of time. Predation generally develops selective pressure on the prey. What do you mean by selective pressure? It is the pressure that has been selected, to develop the better defense, and the prey defenses generate selective pressure on the predation to become more effective at obtaining the prey. It means that the prey has a selective pressure how it can be able to protect itself from the predator, while the predator has a selective pressure in getting the more strategies how it's going to obtain the prey. The result of the two type of selection pressure result in the co-evolution of the prey and the predator. The mutualism between the plants, animal and microbes is the basis of natural ecosystem. Services such as the pollination, seed dispersal, nitrogen fixation. What is the nitrogen fixation? That how the bacteria that is present in the soil captures the atmospheric nitrogen and fix it in the soil so that the area in which the soil is deficient of nitrogen, the plant is unable to get enough nitrogen. So the atmospheric nitrogen has been fixed by these bacteria so that these nitrogen can easily available to these plants. And nutrient recycling. The types of species interaction. The population of the two species may show the following 9 types of interaction with respect to negative and positive effect on interacting species. The first one is the neutralism, in which the associated population has not affected by each other. And its example is the rainbow trout and dandelion in the mountain valley, or cacti and tarantulus living in the desert. This is the tarantulus. It's a spider that is found mainly in the desert area. Neutralism occurs when two populations interact without having an effect on evolutionary fitness to each other. Competition direct interference type, in which the interaction population inhibit each other. In this diagram, these two hyenas are fighting for the food, and these two lions are fighting for maybe the food, shelter, space or mating. You can see this lioness is present, so maybe this lion is protecting his family from this lion, or maybe this is a site of mating where both the lions are fighting among each other for the female lion. The competition resources use type, in which the interaction population adversely affect each other indirectly as they compete for the resources, the nutrient light in a short supply. Over here in this diagram, these are fighting for the food, water, and shelter. And in this, these plants that is mainly found in the tropical rainforest or evergreen forest, there's a great competition among the plants also, because the plant that has so much long leaves get more light content than those plants that have so much short that they're unable to get the sufficient supply of light. And the desert plant, they are competing for the water. Okay. Amensalism, in which one of the two species population is inhibited and the other remain unaffected. And its example is algal bloom can lead to the death of many species of the fish and other animal. However, the algae do not benefit from the death of these individuals. These are the fish that had been killed by the algae due to the algal bloom. Another example of amensalism is the elephant that is stepping on ant or leveling bushes. Do not benefit the element but cause harm to themselves. Parasitism and predation, in which one species population adversely affect the other by the direct attack but nevertheless depend on the other. In parasitism, one species feed on other, benefit one species and hurt the other. This is the very easy and the simplified diagram of the Leshmania donovani. It has two hosts, the dog and the human. So that the sandfly that carries the Leshmania donovani, it's mainly when it's used to inject the blood or the human. Okay, the sandfly blood meal ingests macrophages infect with the amastigotes, and the ingestion of the parasitized cells takes place. The amastigotes transform into pro-amastigote stage in the midgut, and then they finally migrate into proboscis. From there, it may enter the sandfly, which can not only inject or consume the blood of the human but also the dog, and the same cycle begin and end. The predation is the interaction in which one organism capture and feed on another. Example, you can see this is a group of lioness that attack the hippopotamus. Commensalism, one of the two species population, one species is benefit and the other species is not affected. Okay, commensalism is like the lichen growing on the trees, the bird nests in a tree, cattle eat insect kicked up by the cattle. You can see the cattle irrigate. These used to eat that insect kicked by the cattle. Okay. Protocoperations, in which both the species population are benefit in terms of growth rate or size but are not necessary to each other, and its example is the ant and the aphids. Mutualism, in which both the species population benefit and the relation are obligatory, and its example is totally simple, and it is the protist in the gut of the termite help it digest the wood. Anemones protect the clownfish, eat its dead skin. The lichen is made up of the fungus and the algae, and the fungus provide home for the algae, and the algae provide the food for the fungus. Over here I have shown you a diagram. Over here I have given a diagram of symbiosis. Many of you may confuse by this terminology that what is the symbiosis, because in many books you get the mutualism, commensalism and these and so forth, but you do not get a apparent very simple definition of symbiosis. The symbiosis is just a nothing but two species living closely together. They may be present in the mutualism, commensalism and parasitism. Okay, in mutualism both the species they benefit from the relationship. This is the honeybee, simple example. Commensalism, one member is benefit in association with the other, and the other is neither helped nor harmed. The example is small marine animal called barnacles attach themselves to the whale. Okay, the another is the remora fish that attached itself at the bottom or the top of the shark fish because they have a suction cap at the lower portion of the body. Okay, not only the dorsal but on the ventral side. Parasitism, one organism live in or inside the organism and harm it. Maybe it may be a tapeworm, least obtain nutrient from the host. This is the diagram of tapeworm, and its life cycle is completed in 2 stages. The I'm so extremely sorry, the pig and the human. Okay. So the people who used to consume the raw meat of the pig, they usually get affected by this. So that the tapeworm can easily penetrate and they can settle easily in the intestine, where the mouth of the tapeworm, which has a hook, attach itself in the intestine, and they increase in population. Okay. After that, when the human used to excrete, these are present in the soil, and when the pig is used to consume this, they complete their life cycle in the pig also and in the human also. There's some point to remember. The probability of death of resources may depend on the duration of association between the resource and the predator. What is the prey and the predator? There is a simple, easy definition. Predator is nothing but the predator are animals that eat other animals for the food, like the mountain lion or the bar owl. The prey are the animals that are eaten for predator, that is the mule deer or the simple rabbit. Parasitism can be considered as a mild form of the predation, as the host is not immediately killed. The parasitoids are the type of hyperparasite and represent a condition between the parasitism and the carnivory. Please note down a simple point. Because of the wide spread impact of ideas of the Darwin, the survival of the fittest as an important means for bringing about the natural selection, competition aspect of nature receive more attention than cooperative or positive relationship between the species. So what is the positive effect and what is the negative effect? The interaction of the species which result in positive effect is mutualism, and the negative interaction is the competition, predation and parasitism in nature. Both negative and the positive interaction between the population are equally important in the evolution of a species and stabilization of the ecosystem. If this stabilization does not take place, there will be mass increase in the population, not only in the plant, not only in the insect, not only in the herbivore or the carnivore. So the nature already knew how to balance all these things, so there is a stabilization of the ecosystem occurs. Predation is a type of negative population interaction in which one organism consumes other for the food. Predator include the herbivore and the carnivore. This is the prey and this is the predator. Now you can really understand what it is. Dear student, I have given some of the questions. Okay, please kindly take a screenshot or pause this video and kindly answer all the questions in the comment section below. Okay, please also note down all these questions also. Maybe this gonna help you in increasing your concept more, because the more you do the flashcard, the more you get the confidence. Okay, I hope this lecture benefits you. Thank you so much for watching the video.